Hey Autism Ontario campers, it's Maddie, and today we're going to go through a yoga routine based on the alphabet. So for each letter of the alphabet, we're going to do a yoga pose together. And this is going to help us stretch, it's going to help us feel good, it's going to give us a little bit of exercise. So if you want to join me, you can get a yoga mat or just the floor, any hard surface, and we'll get started. So our first letter is A, and we're going to do the airplane pose. So you're going to come down onto your tummy, all flat on the ground, and you're going to put your arms out beside you like wings, and lift them up and lift your feet up. We're going to hold this for 3, 2, 1, and let go. Have a nice rest. Good job. We're going to do that one more time. Hold up. Your arms are up, your feet are up, you're looking forwards, just like an airplane. 2, 1, and let go. Good job, everybody. Our next pose is going to be for the letter B, and it's going to be the butterfly pose. So you're going to put your feet together in front of you. You can rest your hands on your feet. Your knees are out long beside you, and you're just going to flap your butterfly wings. You're going to feel this stretch in your hips. We're going to get some motion going. You can wobble back and forth. Where's your butterfly going to fly? Great work, everyone. Next, we're going to do the Cobra Pose. So this pose, we're going to look like a cobra. We're coming back onto our belly. We're going to put our arms in front of us with our forearms on the ground. Our elbows are resting there. And we're going to lift up. Make sure you have your shoulders down. You're looking forward. You're stretching your lower back. We're just going to stay here for a few minutes. Not minutes, seconds. Nice work. All right, everyone, our next letter of the alphabet is D, so we're gonna do a downward dog. Some of you guys might already know this pose. It's a very common yoga pose. So we're gonna start on all fours with our hands on the ground and the tips of our toes on the ground. And we're gonna push up through our feet, and we're gonna push in through our hands. We're looking upside down. You're gonna feel this maybe in the back of your legs, in your back. Try to keep your knees mostly straight if you can, but if you can't, it's okay to bend them. And if you're having a hard time keeping your knees straight, you can go up higher on your toes. It'll make it a little easier. Why don't we pedal out our downward dog? So bend one knee at a time. This will help stretch out your hips and get a little movement in. So stay here for about 5 more seconds. Well done, everybody. We can come back down onto all fours. Make sure you go slow because we were just upside down. So we don't want to get too dizzy. After that one, we're going to do E. We're going to do the easy pose. So this is just our legs are crossed, our hands are on our knees. Why don't we take 5 deep breaths together, in through our nose and out through our mouth. That's 5. Good job, everybody. It's always nice to come back to deep breaths. They can help keep us calm, keep us feeling good. So it's always good to practice our deep breath. Our next letter is F, and for F, we're going to do a frog pose. So we're gonna look like a frog here. We're gonna get up. We're gonna get up on our toes. On our mat, we're gonna put our heels together so that we're up on our toes, just like a frog. If you need to, you can put your hands in front of you to help hold you up. We can start here and feel that stretch in our hips and in our thighs. And if you're feeling comfortable in this pose, you can come up onto the tips of your fingers a little bit, see if you can balance. And if you're feeling even more brave, we can take our hands off the ground altogether, maybe putting them at our chest and bouncing in our frog pose. Well done, everybody. All right, we can come out of that one slowly. Our next pose will be a Grasshopper Pose. This pose is very similar to the Cobra Pose. So we're gonna come down on our belly. And if you remember in the Cobra, we were on our forearms. In this one, we're just gonna have our hands on the ground. See how my elbows kind of look like the legs of a grasshopper? And we're just gonna lift our head just a bit. Our shoulders are down. You might feel this in your neck, in your shoulders. We'll take a few breaths here. Great job, everybody. We can come up out of this pose, and our next pose we're gonna do is one of my favorites. It's called Happy Baby. So for this pose, we go on our back, and we're gonna grab the ends of our feet. So I'm gonna grab the end of this foot, and my knee is coming into a bit of a corner angle. Then we're gonna grab our other foot, so our both legs are up in the air, and we're just gently pulling down. We're gonna feel this in our hips, in our lower back, maybe in our shoulders a little bit. So you can stay here for a few breaths, or if you want, you can move your Happy Baby. You can rock back and forth, just like this, very gently. Bring a little bit of movement to this pose, or you can just stay like this and take some deep belly breaths and relax. All right, we can come down out of our Happy Baby and sit up. For I, we're gonna come back to our breath and we're gonna do a big inhale. So we're gonna take a deep breath in together and a deep breath out. Great work, everyone. Our next letter is J, and we're gonna do a Jack in the Box. So if everyone knows a Jack in the Box, it's a little box and you crank the side and out pops a little doll. So we're gonna do that same thing. We're gonna put our knees to our chest and hug our arms around them. Give them a big hug and put your head down just like you're a Jack in the Box, waiting to pop out. You can keep your head there and relax for a few moments. And then we'll bring our head up like we're popping out of the Jack in the Box. Maybe we twist it to the side gently and to the other side. Maybe we roll it. Help stretch out our neck muscles. Nice work. We can come out of our Jack in the Box. All right, our next letter is K, so I'm gonna have everybody stand up with me. We're gonna do a kite pose. So you're gonna take your hands, clap them above your head, stretch up really high as you can, reach up to the ceiling, and then we'll gently bend to the right And we'll go back to center. We'll bend to the left very gently. Keep looking forward, stretching. One more minute. Then up to center. Great work, everybody. Our next pose is for the letter L, and we're gonna do a lion pose. So you're gonna come on your knees, and sit back on your feet with your hands on the ground. And then we're gonna come forward into tabletop just like a lion. You can roar if you want to. And then come back down onto your knees. And we're gonna do that a few times. So come up like a lion. And then sit back on your feet. One more time. Nice work, everyone. All right, everybody, our next letter is M, and we're gonna do a mouse pose. So for the mouse pose, we're gonna be on our knees like this, and we're just gonna lean forward, try to touch your head to the ground, and put your hands out behind you. We'll just stay here for a few breaths. Nice work, everybody. Our next letter is N, and so I'm going to call this one a new pose. So I want you to think of a yoga pose and do it at home. Maybe you guys can let me know what yoga pose you chose to do. All right, for our next letter O, we're going to do an otter pose. So you're going to come back down onto your belly with your feet or your hands on the floor, and you're gonna push up in through your hands, bending your back, keep your shoulders down. You don't wanna hunch up like this. And now we are an otter. We're gonna hold this for a few seconds. Make sure you're still breathing deep. And good job. Let that go, shake out your shoulders if you need to. Our next letter is P. We're gonna do one of my favorite yoga moves. It's called the Pigeon Pose. This one's a little tricky, so if it doesn't feel right for you, you could just come down into Child's Pose, which is like this, if you're having trouble with the Pigeon Pose, or you can just skip it. So for a Pigeon Pose, we're gonna put one leg forward and bend it like this. Our other leg's going flat out behind us. And you're gonna feel this especially in your hip. You can stay up here if you want, be a pigeon looking up and around, or you can bend forward. Maybe rest your head on your hands. And take a few deep breaths in our pigeon hold. Now we're gonna do the other leg, so you can come up, shake out your legs if you need to. We're gonna switch to the opposite leg that we just did. So we're putting our knee up in front of us. The side of our leg is flat on the ground, and our other leg is going out right behind us. This is our Pigeon Pose, so you can stay up here, or you can bend forward and rest your head on your hands. Whatever feels right to you. We'll take a few deep breaths here. Nice work. We'll come out of our Pigeon Pose. Maybe shake out your legs a little bit if you need to. Come back around to sitting. Our next letter is Q, so this pose is going to be inspired by the Queen. We're gonna stand up tall. This is also called Mountain Pose. But we're gonna add a little twist because we're the Queen, we're gonna give a wave. Give a wave on one side and twist. Give a wave on the other side and twist. And that's our queen pose, very royal. Our next pose is we're gonna do a ragdoll. So you're gonna just let your body hang over, maybe your hands touch your toes, maybe they don't, but we're just gonna be loose and folded just like a ragdoll. We're gonna feel this in our legs especially. Nice, so we're gonna roll up very slowly from our ragdoll. So we don't wanna come up too fast and get dizzy. Our next letter is S, and we're gonna do a swan pose. So we're gonna come onto our bellies with our hands flat on the ground in front of us. We're gonna bend our legs up, point our toes, and then we're gonna push up our head and try to touch it to our toes. I cannot touch my head to my toes, but I'll try. Nice job. We can come out of that one and sit up to find our next letter, which is T. And we're gonna do triangle pose. So everyone meet me standing up. All right, now we're standing up for our triangle pose. We're gonna put our feet wide apart like a triangle. We're gonna reach one hand down to our leg. The other's gonna go straight up into the sky. And we're gonna stretch here in triangle pose. See how low you can get your hand. Next, we're gonna do our other side, so we'll keep our feet wide. We'll reach our other hand down and put our other hand up in the sky. Maybe we look up at it, add a little twist to our triangle. And we can come back out of that pose. Good job, everybody. Our next pose is unicorn. So we're gonna come forward into our tabletop pose, which is our knees are on the ground, our hands are underneath our shoulders, our knees are underneath our hips. Then we stay here for a moment. Maybe we stretch our back and arch it. Maybe we arch it the other way, get a good stretch in. But I told you this was unicorn pose, so we have to make it a unicorn. We have to add a horn. So we'll stay in our tabletop with our horn on top. This is our unicorn pose. Great job, everybody. We're almost to the end of the alphabet. I can't believe it. All right, our next letter is V, and we're gonna do a volcano pose, or should I say a volcano breath. We're gonna take our hands in front of us. While we take a deep breath in, we're gonna reach them up to the sky like we're a volcano erupting. Then we're gonna let all of our breath out as our hands come to our chest. Now we'll do that again together. Deep breath in. And a deep exhale out. We'll do that 2 more times. Nice job, everyone. Good volcano breaths. Our next letter is W. So we'll stay standing for this one. And we're gonna do a waterfall pose. So we're gonna put our hands above our head and we're gonna tip back like we're a waterfall. There's a water falling out of our hands. And stretch our back, keep our hands up high. Then reach back. Great work, everyone. Our next letters are X and Y. We're gonna do these two letters together. First, we're gonna do an X pose. We're gonna cross our arms in an X in front of us and reach to our hips, give ourselves a little hug. And then we're gonna go out into the Y pose. Reach our hands up above, do a big stretch. We'll come back into X pose, cross our hands, and Y pose. X pose, hands crossed, and Y pose. We'll do one more time. X pose, and Y pose. Now we're at our last letter of the alphabet, Z, so I'll meet you guys sitting down and we'll do our last pose. So for the letter Z, we're going to do a zero pose. We're gonna have our legs crossed, and we're gonna put our arms above our head, make a zero. Thank you all so much for joining me for this yoga class. If you want to do a live yoga class with camp, we do them on Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. You can join us on our Zoom calls. But you can always come back to this video when you want to do a little yoga, have some time to relax and stretch. Now we'll end our yoga class together. Thank you all so much for joining. And at the end of yoga classes, we say a word that goes namaste. So we'll say that all together. Ready? Namaste. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I hope to see you guys at camp and in more of our videos. Bye!